Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing fraudulent documentation associated with Thai immigration. And a recent article from the Bangkok Post, that's bangkokpost.com, article is titled Russians, Chinese Arrested in Pattaya, Bangkok. And I'm going to quote some excerpts here because there's a lot in this article, and the news surrounding this and all the specific information is rather interesting. For purposes of this video, we're talking about the possible ramifications with respect to, how this can impact just dealing with general immigration. We've seen this happen before. Crackdowns involving sham marriages had, ripple effects across the immigration system. Things that Big Joke did back in his tenure as the head of immigration, where they would crack down on certain fraud that was going on. It had widespread ramifications. So presuming something only pertains to one particular office or even one subset of foreigners can be, frankly, it can be risky. It's not a good idea to do it. When you read about these things, it's a good idea to just put it in the back of your mind. And if everything about your documentation is fine, then don't worry about it. But something to think about. Again, quoting directly, bangkokpost.com, Russians, Chinese arrested in Pattaya, Bangkok. Quoting directly, police have arrested 2 Russians on charges of providing fraudulent information to support applications for permanent residence in Thailand. Quoting further, he said investigators had learned 2 suspects operated a website which provided fraudulent financial statements. Quoting further, Russian clients would take the financial statements to the Russian embassy to have them certified. The statements would then be used to support an application to the Immigration Bureau for a permanent residence visa. Arresting police also seized an amount of Thai money, copies of passports, and fake financial statements. So, again, and you can read this stuff yourself on bangkokpost.com. ThaiVisa.com also did an article similar to this one. It gets a little more in depth. Theirs is called Visa Extension Fraudsters. Further details emerge as Thai police go after Russian retirees who use service. I'm not going to get into the Thai Visa one in this video specifically because the purpose of this video is simply to talk about the possible ramifications of this. We, in our experience, usually see after a big crackdown like this, there's kind of a broader tightening of scrutiny, if you will, with respect to documentation associated with visas generally, especially, I suspect in this case, financial information, bank account documentation. They're going to be looking more closely at it. Don't presume that it's only going to apply to Russians. In my opinion, we've seen situations where there were subsets, sort of, foreign nationals tend to kind of sort of self-stratify into, oftentimes it's by language, into their linguistic groups, and they kind of tend to run together, and they can kind of be very mutually exclusive to one another. They don't really see what these other groups are doing, and they oftentimes presume what applies to one group of foreign nationals won't really affect another one. Well, that's not been our experience. There may be more scrutiny on folks who come from a certain region in the aftermath of this, or area, or country, but that's not to presume it won't have wider ramifications on foreign nationals as a whole. So something to think about, bear it in mind. If nothing else, have it in the back of your mind, and just be sure that when you're dealing with your documentation associated with finances in Thailand, everything is in order.